Okay, so this first project is a sand mandala done in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. The monks will create these mandalas, and then after making these beautiful pieces of art, they'll destroy them to represent the impermanence of life, that nothing lasts forever. So my students decided to create a mandala using the yin-yang symbol as the format, and then each person did a portion of it. And when we were done, we destroyed it and distributed the sand outside.
Yes. Yeah, like, I'm something for it. And then do the same thing with the light. I'm done.
In this next project, we created, originally we had thought to make gingerbread kabahs, but ended up using graham crackers instead. The Kaaba is the most sacred shrine in all of Islam, and it's located in the holiest mosque in Islam, in the holiest city, Mecca, in Saudi Arabia. And one of the 5 pillars in the life of Muslims, and I'll describe a little bit more of that later, is to, at some time in their life, if they are able to afford it and they're healthy enough, to make a Hajj to Mecca. That's a pilgrimage to Mecca. And then they go to the Kaaba in the center of this holiest shrine in Mecca, and they walk counterclockwise around the Kaaba 7 times. So my students are in groups designing their Kaabas, and then they will go out and do a Hajj. I sent them out into various parts of the school, and then they came back talking, enjoying each other, because it's a communal experience, and then they walked around the Kaabas 7 times.
Really like theirs. Gone all out. The next project was the summation project for
the first semester world religions class, and they were looking at what was the core of all of the religions that we studied, and they came up with love. And so they designed this tree, decorated the cake. You also see that sometimes the decorating is messy, as evidenced by the icing on the shoe of one of the students. In the second semester, we created another sand mandala, and they used a different design based on their own thoughts about Buddhism, which was what we were studying at the time. And they wanted to create a series of puzzle pieces, with the center being an open puzzle piece, blank, not knowing what it might be, where the path will lead. And then, as with the first one, we destroyed it in the end, and then distributed the sand outside.
I actually do. You're on the beach with your collections and you're all like, oh, have a good time. It's just like this sand in your eyes or whatever. And then we went over and read that sand. I got you, boo. Sand. Are you going to kill this fish? Because it needs infecting the street. There's a lot more.
You people rock!
What?
You rock!
I took a video.
St. John Baptist de la Salle.
Right, boys.
Live Jesus in our hearts. And then the final project I'm sharing is from the second semester study of Islam, and it was called The 5 Pillars of Your Life. So like I said before, in Islam, there are 5 pillars in the life of a Muslim. The first is basically a statement of faith that says there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. So the students thought about what's a statement of faith, or something they could say yes to in their own life. The second is to pray 5 times a day. There are certain prayers that Muslims would say, and so I asked them what prayer or statements could they make 5 times a day. The third is to fast during the month of Ramadan. So for 28 days from sunrise to sunset, you don't eat, drink, say anything negative. And I asked my students what they might be willing to give up for a 28-day period. The fourth was the Hajj, going to Mecca, so I asked them where they would like to go. What's sacred place in the world, something really special to them, where they would go. And then finally is tithing, which is to give money primarily to the poor. And so I asked what they would be willing to give in terms of time and energy or money if they had it. And then finally, you'll see the strings that go through the different pillars. And that string represents jihad. And jihad means exertion or effort. Our media tells us that it means holy war, but that's really inaccurate. So the jihad is necessary in order to live these 5 pillars. So I asked my students to consider what would support them in living the life that they really want. And then they came back after doing their own Hajj, and they went around it 7 times.